Hey everybody, welcome back. Me and Moltrap would both like to welcome you guys back to game number 2 here between Cruncher and PainUser, and this is in the HD World Tournament. Remember guys, this is for $1,750 of prize money, and this is the round of 16. PainUser currently down one game. If you guys haven't seen it, make sure to go back and check it. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hand it off to you, Moltrap. I'm excited. This is game 2, baby.
I am excited as well. This is a little bit bigger map, so a little bit longer rush distance. I'm looking at you, Cruncher. Now, Cruncher, by the way, he's going to put down his pylon here. Cruncher, I don't remember if we mentioned it in the first game. He is actually, like I said, I kind of alluded to it, that he's starting to become a kind of a big name in the StarCraft world. He actually recently beat both Mondragon and Idra in the TSL. So this guy, even though you might not have heard of him before, he is definitely no slouch at all.
Really good.
And
yeah.
You know, that's his PVZ though. So we'll see how his Protoss versus Terran is. I'm hoping on this map it'll be a longer game. We'll get to see more of a macro-based play. I think PainUser is a pretty good macro player. I haven't seen enough of Cruncher's game to know how good his macro is. But I think if it's a longer game, PainUser is going to stand a lot better chance than just, you know, a build order loss versus a rush. And here's this no probe running in here, being annoying, getting some hit points off that SCV. Is going to see what's going on. And yeah, I'm hoping that PainUser gets a little bit luckier with his scouting as well, so he can kind of tell a little bit better. And he is actually getting a refinery very early, so he's not going to go for a quick command center. He's going to tech up a little bit before going for an expansion, although on this map, expansions are pretty inevitable.
Absolutely. This is a very, very wide map, like the last map, Tiled Rim Altar. By the way, this map is called Terminus, and it is one of the new maps that have been presented by the GSL. It's a very, very good map, and very interesting as well. We've got a lot of Xel'Naga watchtowers at the center, as well as this, I don't know what it is, it's like a nuclear power plant or something. In the middle of the map, it looks like Cruncher has gone ahead and decided to steal the gas, one of the gases of PainUser. That's very interesting. So PainUser here opting to what seemed to be for some kind of an early gas build, but now his gas is going to be a little bit delayed on that second refinery. Back over to Cruncher's base, we have PainUser coming in here with this SCV to do his own side of the scouting and figure out what's going on. And remember, because last game PainUser got 4-gated, this game he really doesn't want to get 4-gated. So he's gonna absolutely get everything possible to make sure he can scout the Protoss player, figure out what Cruncher's doing, and see exactly what he's up to. Now, I do want to say that I found out this really cool feature, which was released in the new patch. This is like the, I guess, the new replay feature, so we can kind of push these buttons and boom! Army supply, worker supply. So that's really cool, and then we can bring up like the names as well. So that's a kind of a cool little buttons there that you guys can see.
Yeah, the new replay functionalities are pretty slick. You can do stuff like that, and even just the production tab looks a little bit more refined and that kind of thing. PainUser is going to go ahead and power down that assimilator and get his second barracks going. He really doesn't want to lose to a rush this time. This time it's his turn to put on the pressure. He's going for some early Marauders with concussive shells as well, and he's going to have 2 Marines and a Marauder with concussive. He might make a second Marauder and another Marine or something and then push out. Nope, he's going to expand off of this actually. So just wanted to get that Marauder out for defense and then just go ahead and get an expansion. Like I said, expansions are pretty inevitable on this map. You do have a choke point that protects 2 expansions basically, and protects almost a third. Well, oh no, I'm sorry. On this version, yeah, it does protect a third as well. The newer version of this map has some rocks you can break into the third base. But in this case, you just have 1 choke point. It's a little bit wide, but it protects 3 expansions, so it usually tends to have macro heavy play. And I just want to point out real quick that Cruncher actually, before his probe went in there, or before it left, planted down a pylon in PainUser's third base.
Yeah. I think PainUser's gonna find it though.
And actually, he's gonna find it. Never mind. So it's not gonna play. I thought, okay, that might play a role later on, but he is gonna take that out before it's able to do anything.
Very nice by PainUser there, killing off that pylon and scouting it. This is just kind of instinct. Playing so many Terran versus Protoss games on this map, realizing that, hey, sometimes there's going to be a pylon in my third base, so I'm going to go back there and check it out. And like you said, Moltrap, there's only 1 massive, narrow choke point. I guess it's not massive narrow, that's contradictory, but 1 very big choke into all these 3 bases. So it's a very macro-oriented map. And I do want to say that I think the reason why PainUser went for 2 barracks and got the Marauders out is because last time he went for 1 barracks command center, was very vulnerable to 4 gates. So this time he's going a little bit safer, like you said, Motrap, and he's going to go for a 2nd barracks into command center. And it is going to basically be Marine bio here for PainUser. He's going to be going for Marines and Marauders this game. And I think that Cruncher here may be making some kind of a push out off of 3 warp gates. This is interesting. I think his plan is to go for a 3 gate into Nexus, but he's gonna also apply some heavy pressure. So this is a very interesting opening from Cruncher. And is PainUser gonna be prepared for this? PainUser right now probably thinks, hey, this is like a 4 gate, and he's got his supply depots raised, his bunker coming up. He's even got a missile turret just in case of Dark Templar or Void Rays. So he's very, very concerned right now.
Yeah, maybe Cruncher was planning on trying to do some damage if there was an expansion up that was at the actual expansion place instead of in his base, and he's just keeping that orbital in his main base basically and just using it for mules at the moment. Right now, he's basically got full saturation in his main, so it doesn't actually provide him any extra income to move that command center down until he has more SCVs built up. And that SCV tries to get out to see what's going on in Cruncher's base. Not going to happen. Cruncher just putting on some pressure here. PainUser's got plenty of defenses right now to hold this on, but it also means it's going to be slower for him to get that command center out there if he needs to. And he
needs to, man. He really needs to.
PainUser's super worried right now. He doesn't know that there's a Nexus down, and he doesn't know how many gates there are. He hasn't been able to scout, so he's like got all his SCVs at the front just in case he tries to get broken. I don't think he realizes that it's just a little pressure.
Yeah, PainUser right now is really tight inside his base, and this is the beauty of Cruncher's opening. It wasn't a 4 gate, it was a 3 gate into Nexus, but it was not just 3 gate where you produce units and keep them in front of your base. It was 3 gate and produce units and keep them in front of your opponent's base to keep them scared. So right now PainUser is really, really scared, and Cruncher's able to get that 2nd base running, and finally PainUser brings his SCV inside, and he sees that there is a Nexus there. So now PainUser's gonna realize, holy crap, I am very far behind. There's even the robotic support bay coming up right now. I need to push out. I need to get my command center down. There goes the SCV. It sees everything it needs to see, and I would honestly expect to see PainUser push out, but a force field blocking the ramp to delay the expansion from going down every little bit further. And Cruncher here is just playing great Protoss versus Terran.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised actually if he'd even just kept a sentry there and force filled that ramp a little bit longer. However, medevacs are out, or they're going to be out very shortly actually. So, ooh, Comsat going off to kill that observer and missed just barely. Only took 4 hit points off that observer. Is he going to do another scan?
I don't know if he
has the energy. Doesn't want to. Oh, maybe he doesn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is going to be able to get that expansion up pretty quickly here. But you're right, he does have some catching up to do at this point. Especially, you know, he's starting to get medevacs out, but the first Colossus is about to come out of that robotics facility. So with the amount of force fields that Cruncher has, and with a Colossus to back that up, it's going to tear PainUser's army up pretty quickly if microed correctly, and I believe it will be. So, I don't know, PainUser might have to just kind of try and hold out for a longer game at this point instead of trying to put some counter pressure on.
Yeah, I'd like to see PainUser right now maybe control the map a little bit and grab an early third, because he is behind an economy, like you said, Motrap. So I like this push out right here, but really, let's not overcommit. Maybe even do a little bit of fancy trick play with the dropships and move in and drop some Marines and Marauders inside the Protoss base. But going headlong into Cruncher right now could be economical suicide. It could be just suicide in terms of just losing this game in general. So I really think right now it's a good idea for PainUser to grab a third. Maybe he's gonna push though. He's looking like he's a little itchy. He's a little bit bloodthirsty, but those 2 Colossus there are so strong. Now PainUser's gonna load up, and he's actually going to elevator into the Protoss main. And Cruncher, realizing this, is going to retreat his forces. It's gonna come down to timing. What players can intercept the forces quicker? And I think PainUser may get the drop off first, but I don't know if he's got enough army units to deal with the fallback, the defensive units here from Cruncher.
Oh wow, Cruncher sniping one of the medevacs, very nicely done. And I was really hoping Cruncher actually led his attack into his base with his Colossi. I was really hoping PainUser was going to be able to pick them off, but he actually smartly warped in some units in the front to keep a shield in front of those Colossi, so there was no opportunity for PainUser to snipe them, and PainUser actually comes out a little bit behind on that. I think he got a couple probes, but he lost a medevac and all the units that were in a bit of... Oh no! This medevac flying right over the stock! Oh! Realizes at the last moment and pulls away. and PainUser has gone for that quick third, in fact. So if he can defend this push, which is coming out with 3 Thermal Lance Colossi, if he can defend this, he's going to be in good shape, but it's going to be tough.
Thankfully, he has Vikings, though, man. Yeah.
Ooh, almost taking out a Colossus.
Hey, he didn't take out the Colossus, but he did do some damage to those Colossus, and he's shown that he has the anti-air he needs to deal with Colossus. So I think even though he didn't kill off a Colossus, he's shown that he does have the forces necessary to defend. So this is actually going to scare Cruncher just enough to fall back. Cruncher himself doesn't want to overcommit. And wow, PainUser getting those Vikings just in the nick of time, man. I mean, he started producing them as soon as his SCV scouted the robotic support base. So really, really nice reaction. But our North American tall Terran player, he's still behind, man. With this new replay tab we have out here, we can see PainUser is down by about, I'd say 21 supply, to make it exact. So PainUser's still got catching up to do, but thankfully, like you said, he's got the 3rd command center up earlier than our Protoss player gets his 3rd Nexus up.
Yeah, he's morphing it into an orbital command right now. SCVs are going on their way, so we're going to see the income tab shoot up in PainUser's favor very quickly now that he's got some SCVs over there. His factory has scouted that 3rd Nexus as well, so he knows exactly what's going on. And yeah, that was really, really clutch, getting those Vikings at just the right time. Now, because Cruncher went for kind of quick Colossi, PainUser didn't really get a chance to get out too many medevacs beforehand, so he's a little bit low on those, and he's actually going to try and drop that 3rd Nexus. I don't know if he might wait for I think he's going to wait for the probes to get there and then try and kill off the probes, which would be a little bit more effective than going straight for the Nexus. But yeah, he's got a decent amount of Vikings out right now, but Cruncher has 5 Colossi, so if he doesn't kill those Colossi very quickly, they're going to do major damage to his ground units if an engagement happens.
It's going to be an unmanageable number is what's going to happen. Oh my god, PainUser's Vikings in the open here in the middle of the battlefield.
Oh, no!
A couple of them going down, and then PainUser now counterattacking. Thankfully, he has the concussive shells, and notice right there, Cruncher pulling one of his stalkers back to basically save the rest of his stalkers, and now PainUser going in with the drop. He's got a couple Marines and Marauders behind the natural expansion, but oh my god, Cruncher's massive Colossus army just denies the drop. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 probes went down right there, but that was a serious defense and a hold by Cruncher, and Cruncher, I mean, both those players could have made critical mistakes with both of them basically doing what they needed to do to not, make a huge mistake and lose a ton of probes or a ton of Vikings. And we're still kind of in a balanced state of the game. I think Cruncher still a little bit ahead, but it's certainly anyone's game to take.
It was really clever by PainUser, by the way, to attack at that moment when he saw Cruncher's army kind of out in the middle of the map attacking his Vikings. He said that was the exact moment. So Cruncher actually doing, at the same time, very good reaction time to get his army back. PainUser dropping that army out again. He might lose the medevac. It's so close. Oh! And those Marines and Marauders parts fall out of the medevac into the depths of space. That was unfortunate, and I don't know if he even has any other medevacs. He doesn't have any other medevacs on the map right now, so all of his yellow units from that stim, from that engagement earlier, don't have any way of healing up at the moment. He needs to keep up his Viking production though, to make sure he can hold off the Colossus. So PainUser's in a little bit of a jam in that sense.
Not only that, but right now Cruncher also has High Templars out, which means he can drop Psionic Storm, although the Psi Storm research upgrade is still about 60 seconds away from finishing. Looks like a comsat to pick off an observer, and we're getting to that tense moment in this game, in this epic Protoss versus Terran, where it's about to blow up. The volcano, the top is about to explode. It's just gonna come down to positioning of units as the armies continue to get bigger and bigger gradually, ever so slowly. It's gonna eventually come to a collision, and one of these players is gonna be the one remaining standing. The other one is going to be the one who falls. And right now, PainUser, he's down one game. He needs to make something happen. Cruncher now has his Templars out. He has 5 out on the map. And the Psionic Storm upgrade is about to finish, and Moletrap, man, that Psi Storm is going to tear PainUser's bio army to shreds. The only thing that PainUser's got really is these Marauders, which are not as vulnerable to Psi Storm, but it's still going to be a very, very tough road for PainUser ahead. Yeah,
at the very least, he does have about half Marauders, so that's good at least. And he just got 3 medevacs out, but he's not going to just keep him with his army. He's actually going to go for a massive drop with a lot of Marauders, And he could actually do some serious damage if he just goes straight for Cruncher's third. His army's out protecting this fourth in the middle of the map. He's got only a couple Zealots and a Stalker over here. He could take out a Nexus and a lot of Gateways. If this drop lands properly, he's pulling out all of his units. Cruncher's sending his army back right now.
Hit the pylons!
Far off. Oh, there's more Gateways warping in. He needs to get something killed off before the army gets back. And is he going to get the Nexus? He's trying to power down the Nexus. It's almost dead. He's trying to finish it off. Oh! And he chooses to get his army out instead of getting the Nexus. And the Nexus survives with 100 hit points left. In fact, he might want to just send that last medevac back in there. But he's attacking the front at the same time with his main army. Psystorm's owning his army. I'm sorry I missed that. As his main army was pulled back to the third base, PainUser took that opportunity to take out the fourth base. So brilliant work there by PainUser, and doing a lot of damage. Really, really wants to get that third base down, though. If he gotten that, he'd be in a huge lead. But as it stands, Cruncher still has a huge army and a supply lead of about 20.
Yeah, Cruncher is still ahead, as you guys can see by that tab. He's got this massive Colossus army, and really, PainUser did some good work. He dropped, he almost killed the Nexus. I would have even maybe liked to see him pick up the pylons. Here we go. Big, big battle right here. Templar's not dropping the Psystorm, which means that PainUser may be able to come out ahead. There's a bunker here trying to hold the front door, but there's just Zealots wailing away at that bunker. And I don't know. I think PainUser may actually lose here just by brute force. Another Psionic Storm pushing the dropships and Marines and Marauders away. Oh my god, I think Cruncher just brute forced his way in, just punched the nail through the door and said, I don't care if you've harassed me, I don't care if you almost took out my Nexus or took out my fourth Nexus. I have a bigger army and I'm going to utilize it. I'm not going to play cat and games, and I'm just going to push forward and win. So
yeah, and he's still got one or two more Psystorms left, so if PainUser decides to move down that ramp to try and take control of his natural again, it's going to be bad news. Here he's trying to do that just now. He needs to take out that Colossus super quick. He does target down the Colossus.
Very nice.
More Zealots coming in, and oh, Force Field's blocking them in so the charge lots can own the crap out of the rest of his bio. And PainUser doesn't have anything left. He's got 80 supply, and I don't know if he can pull this out again. He's trying to float stuff away right now. There's not much anti-air, but he's at least got that fourth, and there's GG coming from PainUser.
Very nice, GG. Wow. 3/4 of us here blocking a Marine, a single Marine. I bet PainUser right there was kind of wishing that this orbital command was actually a planetary fortress. So, yeah, he had to lift off, and that... I'm surprised that PainUser just crumbled like that. Honestly, going for these drops when he wasn't effective, he didn't kill the Nexus. He didn't even kill the pylons, which I don't know if you heard me scream out, "Kill the pylons!"
Yeah.
Because I thought, you know, if he can kill these two pylons, he can unpower all these warp gates, and then he can go ahead and attack and do some serious damage without fear of reinforcements. But instead, PainUser decided to almost kill a Nexus, and not really. Both incredible play by both these guys, man. I'm stunned, but PainUser obviously the loser of this series.
Yeah, I gotta say that despite the loss, I am impressed by PainUser's play. The way he was able to go in, attack two different locations at once, go in for the drop while he was going in for the main attack at the front, that kind of thing. So by no means was it poor play that lost him this game. It was just very, very nice play and a really good unit composition by Cruncher that took the game for him. So congrats to Cruncher. Is going to advance, if I understand it correctly, to the round of 8 then?
That is correct. He's gonna advance to the round of 8 in the HD World Tournament. And yeah, great play by Cruncher. I think Cruncher really took the lead when he blocked PainUser inside his one base for such a long time. That was the snowball effect. So
and yeah, that might even be a product of that 4-gate at the beginning. I mean, PainUser was playing a little bit timid because he got 4-gated in the first game, and so I don't know. Maybe if he'd played a little bit bolder with his 2 Barracks, he might have not gotten trapped as much.
Yeah, it was all mind games from Cruncher. Very nice play. Yeah. So yeah, thanks Motrap. Thanks a lot for casting with me, and I'm looking forward to having you on board for more casts. Of course, HD World Tournament, still plenty of games to come, guys. And I just want to thank you guys all for tuning in and, of course, supporting me thus far, as well as Motrap. Make sure that you guys go check out his channel, go subscribe, and I'll leave the last word to you, Motrap. Yeah,
thanks very much for having me alongside. A lot of really, really cool players in this tournament, so I'm excited to be able to cast some games with you. And hopefully the rest of the games in this tournament are as good as these have been, because these have been definitely awesome games. I just said awesome. But whatever. Anyway, thanks for having me alongside, and hope everyone enjoyed watching them. GG.